Class is in session. The professor is in. What's happening, y'all? So we have a boss battle coming up, and today we are going to look at one, the boss battle, number two, which the characters I think are going to be the best, and number three, we're going to check out the bargain bin. We're going to do it all in one video. Since this is actually starting very, very soon, and the professor is a little bit behind with life and becoming an official content creator, has made things a little bit more difficult this week, but I got you. Let's go check out the boss and his abilities. So first off, we are going to get a power gem boost. Power gems generated from moves will add 1500%, which is 15 times more damage on each attack. Black moves will deal 1000% or 10 times more damage. And last but not least, moves that generate Juggernaut gems will create 100 or minus 100 less Juggernaut gems. So no one making Juggernaut gems are going to be of any use for you at all. If we look at the boss, he has these happening every 1 to 2 turns. And if I had to guess, it would be these two moves here every turn and these two moves here every second turn, right? So this is every, let's spell, and this is every second turn. That would be my guess, but we'll just check it out quickly. So he's going to deal 1.6 million damage to the players and deal an additional 250k or so damage for each turn that elapses. So we're looking at 2, possibly 3 turns if your superstar is 5-star gold and maxed, so you might be able to get 3 turns out of it, and hopefully you'll have someone that can heal you to get you and can keep you going. Every turn is going to turn 20 of any of the gems on the board into botches on the board, and so I think that'll happen every single turn. And then every second turn, this is going to happen where the increased MP cost will increase those moves by 10 additional points for 1 turn, although this could happen every single turn after your first turn, so be prepared for that. And that's going to make it difficult, especially for 1 MP moves that a lot of power gem posters have. And last but not least, the heal boss. So the boss is going to be healed by 20% of their max HP, and that also might be every single turn or it might be every second turn. So don't be surprised if every single boss turn all of these things happen, but that's not what I think is going to happen, but I don't know, but we'll see. Lineup wise, we're going to have ourselves a more difficult time with this boss than I think with prior bosses, because it's going to require something that we haven't had to do before, which is lots of swiping. If we are going to have extra power gem damage, instead of having a move that creates extra damage from power gems, what we have to do is actually swipe the board to create the damage that these power gems themselves are going to do. So this is going to require a swipe or 2 with a dot on the eye. And black moves are going to do some more damage, but even the most or the hardest hitting black moves that we have in the game right now are 1,000,000 points, maybe 1,000,005, maybe 2,000,000 points, and 10 times more damage is 20 million. So depending on where this boss is in terms of healing and health perspective, 20 million is a drop in the bucket. So the majority of our damage actually is going to be coming from these gems and how much we can get them on the board and firing. That all being said, in our different classes, for the focused class, basically anybody who's putting down power gems is going to be helpful. Now, that doesn't mean everybody, including players that we haven't used in a long time, aka Gold Dust, are going to be useful. Putting down power gems of 1600 strength is not going to be a very useful power gem user. What that means then is that if you don't have a power gem person that is going to put down a ton of power gems, then you are, again, relegated to the world of boss breakers and bringing boss breakers that are going to help. This time around, this is your boss breaker in the focused category. You are going to want Regeneration X because you want to be able to have, because we're doing a lot of swiping, every swipe is going to give you extra MP. That being said, when it comes to actual entourages, you're going to find that you are going to need move charge entourage people. So people like this, if you have them, that give you extra MP for charging that color are also going to be very useful. Coaches that do the same, also very useful. Last but not least, not move damage, but gem modifiers. So men and women, trainers and coaches that will add power gems and add damage for power gems are also going to be very useful. So in terms of trainers, that's going to be probably this Undertaker first. But Shinsuke Nakamura will also do a similar thing. In terms of coaches, if you have the Tech Riddle or Alexa Bliss, the Striker Alexa Bliss, or the Acrobat, I can't think of it anymore. It's been so long. Either way, Alexa Bliss also adds more power gem damage. So that's basically what you're looking for power gem wise. So in terms of bargain bin, depending on how high you have this character, Drew McIntyre could be a bargain bin find for you because he is able to make a lot of power gems. And if you can buff them up high enough, 15 times 100,000 of power gems is 1.5 million. So 1.5 million is a lot to go off every time for each power gem that you make a swipe. So that's what we're trying to get to. So think of somewhere in the 50 to 100,000 per power gem is a good place to try to be. Anything more than that is extra money. So bargain bin find definitely going to be a Drew McIntyre, the zombie version of him. But as you can see, I wouldn't recommend any of the rest in here. And when we look through this again, I guess the top characters that you're going to have for this class are going to be like this. So Striker Andre is going to be one of the better ones. Definitely not you. At least not for this. So Striker Andre, he has himself the sub that's going to turn into power gems. The Juggernaut is not going to work for this one, so you're not going to be able to use that. So you're going to have to try to get the sub down as much as possible, make into black gems, and then continue going that way. So you would use the black sub, green, and black. Also in this category, Rocker Sean would be available to use as well for you. Because he has a botch move, this one right here, this black move, that takes botch gems into power gems. So you're basically going to try to, you're going to have to get him to the end of that turn, making sure that this is obviously a one-turn move, but you're going to have to make sure that you load your black MP again, and use the boss's botch gems to create your own power gems. So he's going to be a turn 2 effectiveness in that way. And last but not least, if you have him, so these are the 3 best in this category, is Goldberg. Goldberg is going to make a power gems with the armbar right there. And I believe there was another increase the strength of your power gems if you have him at 6-star. And there was one other move, 3x2 area into protect gems. I think those are the 2 moves. So you're going to be able to make a whole bunch of power gems with Goldberg as well. So those were the 3 sort of best that you could use, at least in this category. And then after that, you're going to be in boss breaker territory. Now, in terms of the bargain bin of people, if you do have Hall of Fame Perfect, He is someone that you could also use. So in terms of somebody who makes power gems from their sub, he has that ability to do so. Although you won't be using any of those, and the rest is all countdown gems. So you could try to use the black moves in order to get more and more damage, but this is basically your bread and butter. So you're going to have to create a move set afterwards that allows you to equip the and use the power gems effectively. So as much as nobody wants to hear it, I think in this chaotic spot right over here that KO is actually going to be one of the better superstars you can use. I'm going to put him in the bargain bin for this one, but it is worth noting that it is Juggernaut gems, not trap gems, and so he's still going to be able to do a ton of damage that is going to stack several turns, and since this boss is going to last several turns, he is someone who's actually going to probably be viable for a ton of people. Now, what you're going to want to use this time around with him is the Healer's Steel, so that way you can reduce the healing ability of the boss. And as you can see, I've built up the Neutralize, and then Neutralize went away. And so then I started to build up It's Time to help there, and now we have a boss that has this ability. So now the Healer's Steel is what you're going to want to use in this case. But KO with Titan Plate build will do a lot of damage for this boss, but I don't think he's going to do the most damage. I could be wrong on that one. But if we're looking for specifically players that can use these abilities right here, then what we're going to need to do is find somebody within this chaotic category that is going to help, and one that is actually not going to help is Macho Man, because he uses Juggernaut gems to create his power gems. So he is actually completely and utterly useless to us in this case. In terms of power gem type of people that you can use, RVD would be one that is actually going to be really good for this battle. So the whole damn show, he's going to hit with not only with a bunch of power gems right here with the low charge windmill kick. He steals power gems. That's not what I wanted to say. But he has low charge moves, and he's able to, at least with, which is going to be helpful. That's the helpful part, is the low charge moves, especially because the boss is going to add a whole bunch of charges to all of our moves in general. Now, in terms of things that more people will have, and this is where the Foley plate comes in, and so I didn't say this before yet, but the Foley plate is actually going to be the plate that's going to be the most useful because of its ability to create power gems when you break 6 blacks. So that makes someone like Many Faces of Foley someone also worthwhile in this type of boss battle, because he makes a bunch of power gems, but also because he is able to break black gems as well too. So Many Faces of Foley is one that can be used also in the bargain bin type of thing. And a lot of people have said, and correctly so, that Sid, because of his low charge and power gems, is someone that you can use. Mr. T you can use. You can even use, for the most part, you can get a little bit of the Bray Wyatt in there because he's able to make random protect gems and then the protect gems into power gems. So he has that ability as well too. But again, if you don't have RVD or maybe the Many Faces of Foley, then you're probably looking to be good, at least in terms of boss breakers. For the aggressive category, you see right here that I have Ray open. Ray for now has 3 black moves. They're all going to do a decent amount of damage, but they're probably all going to do somewhere in the realm of 2.5 or 3 million for each one of these. The reason I have him here is because of the boss breaker. So this is where you need 100% an exhaust here to keep your team alive, because this is going to be a multiple turn boss battle. So having exhaust, or at least 2 people with exhaust, makes this go better because you never take any damage. You just get to keep rolling and rolling and rolling. So that is very important to use your exhaust for this one. but Ray wouldn't be. Ray is is a bargain bin, but of a certain variety bargain bin. Another one that you could use as well would be a DX Triple H, but that's if you again have, and I don't have it on him right now, but that is if you have the plate for him, and that's the plate right there that I've been mentioning, the main face of Mick Foley plate. Anytime you break 6 or more black gems, make 5 random into power gems of 50,000, and then you're going to times that by 15, so you are going to get times 10 is 500,000, so you're going to get 750,000 basically on each power gem that you lay down, and this is going to bring down 6 every time. So that's what makes Triple H viable in one sense. The other sense is that if you have a big enough move medal on him, then these will hit for roughly 10 to 15 million for each time you use them. Although for me, it would make more sense to hit this move to increase your green and then hit this move to swap in black gems. And what you're going to need after the first turn is, again, the move NP plus trainers in order to make sure that you can fill it after the boss puts down one of his activities on us. So Triple H DX is someone that you can use. I would put him somewhere in between. I would put him in the bargain bin only because I don't think he's going to be doing the most damage, but he is a viable character for many, or for which many people can use. A lot of people have taken up Sarge recently. Sarge is someone in the bargain bin that will be able to be used. I don't think he's going to be the best one out there, and I don't think Shamrock's going to be the best one out there, but both of them do in the aggressive category create power gems that you would be able to use. Now, in terms of the other sort of best characters in this class with which to use, we're going to have to scroll all the way to the bottom within here to get that. So the Apex Predator is somebody else that creates, or at least has, a black moves and also has the ability to create power gems. So he's somebody else that you can, with a triple black move set, you can use the black neck breaker, make the black, or you can use the 1 MP move that he has as well to create black. There it is, makes random gems. So you have a couple options with the Apex Predator. And another one in this category is Omos. Omos makes a line of power gems, has low charge moves with his KO punch. So that is going to be very effective this boss battle. And last but not least, Hollywood, Hulk Hogan, the Hall of Fame version, another character that makes power gems because he has that 5x1 area that's just going to turn the board into power gems when broken by you, that snowfall gem move. You wouldn't be using the trap this time around. So Hollywood is somebody else, or at least the Hall of Fame version of Hulk Hogan, who will be very useful this boss battle. So in terms of who's going to be the best in this category, it's probably going to be Hall of Fame Hogan, with a close second in terms of Randy Orton and Omos also being very effective. And if you don't have any of those, there's a couple more options in the bargain bin, but also Triple H. And last but not least, we're going to hit into the defensive category of players that you can use. Again, for this type of a category, you're bringing in whoever is your level 10 or close enough to it healer if you don't have anybody viable to use within this. But in terms of power gemmers that you can use, the best one in this category, probably another top character for this. Actually, probably not. Hold on. I think his is actually Juggernaut gems. No, it's not Juggernaut gems. This can only be used when you're pinned, and since we're not getting pinned, we actually have no use for you. So scratch that. It is not Roman Reigns. In this category, if you do have someone in this category, it's probably going to be Rocky Johnson. He's going to make a lot of power gems, and they are going to hit for a bunch. So I think Rocky is going to be a good, viable use for a lot of people. If you do have this Undertaker built up, He would be able to make a lot as well too, because it converts all immobiles into powers. You get to choose power gems, and a lot of his moves create immobile gems as well too. So I think he's going to be in the bargain bin if we're lucky. I don't think he's going to be that good, but it's someone that you can use. Again, you're going to want to bring in a healer here, I think, more than anything else. But Rocky Johnson seems to be sort of the best case scenario in this class as well. So there you have it. A quick video. I apologize for the rush nature of it, but unfortunately, with lots of other things going on in the game over the weekend, and then with the new boss coming in so quickly, at least I can give you a sense of whom to use and who can be used. But this one, more so than any other boss that we've ever faced, is going to take a while to win. So your actual strategy for winning this one is your breakers. Breakers are what's going to make it for you. So make sure your breakers are up as high as they can be. Thanks for coming to class today. Make sure you like and subscribe. That helps me out, especially now as a content creator, to push out this to the widest audience possible. But otherwise, if you found this if I missed anybody, that's the other thing. If I missed anybody, put it in the comments, or put some builds in the comments that you think will help others in the community. Class is over. Brofessor out.